Welcome back to the channel. My name is Mythic, and without further ado, I'm just going to dive right into this. I know a lot of people have been asking me about this new brand of Shisha that I've been trying for the past 3 days. I've been on Instagram Live doing live first impressions, taste testing with all the new flavors. This is going to be the full recap of all the flavors, descriptions. I'm going to go through everything that I experienced, the pack method that I use, the heat management that I use, and that brand is Cookies. We got 10 new flavors here, and the past few days I've been trying out all of them. A lot of them have been amazing. A lot of them have been interesting. So like I said, there's 10 flavors here. I already got a bowl packed. I'm gonna light up some coals. I'm gonna start smoking one of these flavors, and I'm gonna go through each one and give you guys some insight as to what each flavor may taste like, what to expect. I know a lot of people are interested and kind of hesitant on buying it because they don't know if it's a good brand, if it's good flavors, if it's worth it. You know, each pouch is 100 grams and they retail for about 18 bucks depending on where you get it. I know the price point is a little high, but honestly, this is something new. This is something exciting. The flavors are amazing. So let me foil up this bowl. I got some cereal milk in here. I just chose one at random. I'll be smoking that and I'll be going over each flavor. So as you can see, nice, big, beautiful clouds. So what I'm smoking right now is cereal milk. So I guess I'll start with that one. So when I first tried cereal milk, the first setup that I did was I used the Mason Shisha Ware Moab Gravel. Shout out to Moa Smokes, shout out to Mason. And I used a Lotus with 3 cubes. I didn't know if this was a type of Shisha that could handle heat. Usually blonde leaves are not so heat resilient unless it's a performance brand Shisha. So with that, question in my mind, what I did was I started off with 3 cubes, got a great session out of it, and once I reached like the hour mark, I noticed that the heat was starting to decline a little bit. It was taking the heat perfectly fine. I didn't have to remove the third coal at any point. So once the heat started to diminish, I then lit 2 new coals and added that, and that pushed it for another like 45 minutes or so. But for the sake of the Instagram lives that I did, I wasn't trying to push the bowl to see how long it could go. I was just trying to get a feel for the flavor to give people an idea of what each flavor is like and if it's accurate to the description. Once I realized that I had to light coals again and that the Shisha, the Cookies brand Shisha could take a lot of heat, I decided to switch it up and use the Provost. And I packed all the rest of the flavors in a mini Rook with a Provost and 2 coals, and I kept it the same. And what I did was I smoked it up to the hour mark. And once I noticed that if the flavor was still potent and the clouds were still going and everything was going right, I just called it and I said if I were to add 2 new coals, I could safely assume that I could push this for another 45 minutes at least. That's just based on my experience with testing Shishas. So starting off with cereal milk. Beautiful flavor, nice, rich, creamy. As per the description, let me just pull that up real quick so I get it verbatim. Creamy, fruity with a hint of something special. And indeed, there is something special. When you smoke it, you kind of get the remnants of like Fruit Loops or like that very sweet, lemony portion of the cereal, and it's a nice creamy finish. The first time I smoked it with the Lotus, I realized that the flavor was kind of light, but then I smoked it again with the Provost and I realized that the flavor was way more prevalent. So this is where heat comes into play when testing Shishas. The Shisha is cooking more and the molasses and everything is heating up perfectly, and it's just all the spots are being hit correctly and you get the flavor that it's supposed to be. So that was cereal milk. The next one that I did was sweet tea. When I smoked it, again with the same exact pack method and heat management as I did with cereal milk, I wasn't getting too much of that sweetness, like the sugary sweetness of the sweet tea drink. It was mostly being driven by the lemon on the back end. But it was a great flavor. I enjoyed it. I just feel like this was one of the flavors that wasn't as accurate to the description. But again, it performed just the same. You know, it went for the full hour with full potent flavor, big clouds, and at the hour mark, again, I called it, said if I added 2 more coals, it'll push it to at least 45 minutes. And I believe with these shishas, once I start to test it a little bit more, to see how much I could push it to its full potential, I believe it's an easy 2-hour smoke if you manage your heat properly. Third flavor that I did, that was Grenadine. Now, I'm not a big fan of cherry, so I was kind of like anticipating that this would have like a cherry medicinal type artificial flavor, because when I smoke other cherry flavors, that's like what I get. This was actually very accurate to the description. The pomegranate is nice and sweet, and it balances that bold cherry, like syrupy flavor. And again, it wasn't medicinal. Like I said, I was kind of skeptical about this flavor for myself personally, but when I tried it, I really enjoyed it, and it is one of my top flavors of the cookies brand. And once again, it reached the full hour, full flavor, full clouds, so on and so forth. So, fourth flavor. The fourth flavor that I did was Georgia pie. The peach is very desserty. It's a desserty type of peach flavor. It's not too sweet. It's not like a candy-like peach. And when I smoked it, I tasted remnants of like the peach cobbler, the crumbliness, like the crust of the Georgia pie. Again, it was very subtle, but it was still a perfect balance to the desserty peachiness. So this is also a winner in my book. And again, performed exactly the same as the previous one. It's been about maybe like 10 minutes so far. The lid is still down on the Provost, and the flavor is amazing. There's no heat spikes. It's not tasting burnt. It's not tasting harsh. It's still pushing clouds, pushing flavor. And, you know, based on all the flavors that I tried, this was the same exact experience that I got with all of them. So with consistency, I would give, at least this batch that I got, they're all consistent in terms of the performance and how I had the setup. The next flavor that I tried was Sticky Buns. Now, Sticky Buns I know is, it's very popular right now. Like everybody who talks about buying the cookies Shisha, they either talk about cereal milk or they talk about Sticky Buns. So, you know, one would think that, you know, this may taste like kind of like a Cinnabon or like a cinnamon roll, judging from like the picture as well and the description. However, when I smoked it, and I'll be completely honest, it tasted very, very similar to Element Air or Chata. You know, minus some of like the spice notes. But overall, it was a good flavor. I personally didn't get a lot of cinnamon. I understand that before, I think this batch had like this flavor had like a lot of cinnamon, and it was toned down, but I didn't get much cinnamon in this. I feel like if you were to add like another cinnamon type shisha that isn't too overpowering, it could really amplify the dessertiness of this flavor. And again, this one pushed flavor and pushed clouds up to the hour point and performed just the same. This is also a really good flavor. So the next flavor that I did was Gelatti. When I smoked this, the flavor, like the base flavor profile, reminded me a lot of cereal milk. The description says that it was intertwined with berries. Me personally, I didn't find that much of a berry taste. It, like I said, it kind of resembled the cereal milk taste, like with the lemony sweetness of like a cereal, mixed with a much more creamier balance and undertones for the overall profile. But I really enjoyed this flavor, like nonetheless, like whether the description was wrong or a little bit off, I still enjoyed this flavor, and this is also one of my top flavors. Next flavor was London Chello. So London Chello says, get the taste of blueberries that have a slight tartness to them, but are mostly sweet with the taste of lemons. When you open this shisha and you smell it, it smells very familiar. And when I say familiar, I mean it reminds you of shisha that you may have smoked back in the day. You know, like the traditional classic type flavors, classic mixes that you would go to at a lounge. To me, it tasted just like that. It smelled exactly like what it tasted exactly what it smelled like. It was a perfect balance between both fruit profiles. However, blueberry and lemon isn't something that I smoke often. So objectively, good flavor. Personally, not my favorite, but you know, everybody's different. So moving on, next flavor, berry pie. So berry pie is said to be berries and cream batter with an icy finish. This was the one flavor that I was kind of disappointed with, just because I was looking forward to how they described it. You know, I was looking for that batter type sweetness and that nice desserty profile, but to me it just tasted like the typical mix of like blueberries and like whatever other berries that they usually make with those mixed berry flavors. I didn't really get that much of like the icy finish. So this one again, it wasn't for me. However, it performed just the same as the others. So moving on to the next one, Pink Rozay. This is a funny story because once I read the description, it said bright floral taste. So I automatically don't like florals, like strong florals. And I heard people say that it kind of tasted like Trifecta Noir. And if anybody knows me, Trifecta Noir makes me almost sick. But I'm not bashing the flavor at all. Just for me, like it's very off-putting for me. I could barely even take one pull of it. But when I opened it and I smelt it, I smelt the florals. But for some odd reason, what this reminds me of is one of my favorite flavors from Azor, which is lychee. Now, the Azor lychee flavor doesn't really taste like the lychee fruit. To me, it reminds me of this like a cola champagne type of soda, or those Japanese exotic ramen sodas. It has that like sweet bubbly gum type taste to it. And when I smelt it, that's what automatically hit me. So I was like, maybe this flavor is actually, you know, good. Maybe the florals aren't too strong. And nonetheless, when I packed it and I smoked it, I was instantly like shocked. I was like, this tastes amazing. This was the one flavor out of the rest of them that I was actually like scared to try, and it turns out to be one of my favorites. Like, if not my favorite one, just because it reminds me of that flavor profile that I just mentioned. The florals are not overpowering, and to me, the florals actually taste good. And this is coming from somebody who doesn't smoke florals. So last but not least, London Pound Cake. Now, I kept this one for last just because it has the most complex flavor description. And that description says it's a buttery pound cake soaked in milk, infused with lemongrass, topped off with blueberry and a hint of mint. Unfortunately, I didn't get the taste of that buttery pound cake. I mostly got the flavors of everything else. I got the blueberry, I got the lemongrass, which was more on the lemon side, and the hint of mint. So like similar to the London Chello, it has that familiar smell and that familiar taste of like a blueberry lemon type mix, especially like if you throw in mint in there, which this one has. For me, I just didn't get the pound cake and I was kind of looking forward to it. But again, like I say, flavor is subjective. A lot of people may love this one. Me personally, wasn't the biggest fan, but I understand why people may like it. And honestly, if you guys try this flavor and you pick up on the flavors that I said that I didn't get, let me know. Let me know what your setup was. Let me know what bowl you use, what heat management you use, what coals you use. You know, a lot of flavors are not that easy to just automatically think of like, oh yeah, this will taste like this will taste like this. So hopefully everything that I described about the flavors could give you guys some insight if you were interested in purchasing these flavors. These flavors are available from 5-Star Hookah. You can hit up Hookahgram. He's selling it as well. And if there's a coupon code, then kudos to you because you can save a few dollars. So thank you guys for watching. I hope you got something out of this. If you have any further questions, you could either leave a comment on the video, you could DM me on Instagram. You know, I'm always here for you guys with any other additional questions. If there's something I missed and you wanted me to talk about, let me know. I'll talk one-on-one with you. If you want me to go on a live and do like another Q&A about it, I'm always down for anything like that, you know. With that, like, follow, subscribe, you know the whole thing. I appreciate you guys' support, and you know, give cookies a try. You know, it's something new. Like I said before, it's not a strong nicotine tobacco. Don't worry about not being able to smoke it. It's perfectly fine. You know, I recommend it. Some flavors may be perfect for you, some may not, but that's just the way it goes. So you know the deal. I'm just gonna blow some clouds, and I'll catch you guys next time.